Janice is a 20-year-old lady who has always had dreams of becoming a medical doctor and a very proud daughter, for that matter, to her parents. Unfortunately, 3 years ago, she lost her parents to an accident, and that was the most significant defining moment in her life. She felt she had lost her treasure in both parents. She felt that life had not dealt with her fairly because for all the sacrifices of her parents, for all the things that they've done in getting her so far in her education, she felt she wanted to make them proud and support them when she is able to make it in her pursuit of the medical profession. Years on, she is still struggling to understand why that particular accident happened and why her parents were taken away from her so tragically. She wants answers because she still is in a place of denial, and that is affecting her in various ways. Daniel and Clara were the talk of town. They were a beautiful couple. They had the beautiful moments that made everyone admire them. Unfortunately, everyone woke up to news that this amazing couple had broken up. Clara just couldn't understand why suddenly they had to end that beautiful relationship. She's been battling for answers, and that has taken a toll on her physically, psychologically, emotionally. And because of that lack of understanding why it happened and not being able to manage the after effects of that breakup, she is in a lot of emotional trouble. These are just two instances of individuals who have struggled to move on from a tragic or negative experience. And it may not be as tragic as an accident to parents or as a breakup in a relationship or in a marriage situation. It could be a particular experience that sometime later you still haven't been able to understand why it happened or even come to terms with the fact that it happened. That job loss, that sickness that took a friend, dear friend, away. That period in time that things kept happening that were to your disadvantage. Not being able to move on from that experience, not being able to appreciate what happened and its role in improving or otherwise affecting your life can be a dangerous place to be, can be an uncomfortable place to be. And that experience of not having answers to questions that you are seeking answers to, that experience of not being able to move on after an unexpected negative experience or a situation that was really discomforting and traumatic is known as the lack of closure or the lack of psychological closure. And in our human nature, we have a tendency to seek for closure when it comes to almost everything that relates with our lives. And this is a concept that is very profound in an area of psychology or a school of psychology called Gestalt psychology, where the concept of closure or the principle of closure says that we are always looking to close the gaps in images, in experiences, in situations. We are always trying, our mind is trying to create a certain completeness that will help us to understand the image, the situation, or whatever is happening. So as you may see in this image I'll project in a moment, you would realize that in looking at it, someone is able to create a complete image of a star. Somebody is able to create a complete image of 3 circles. Someone is able to complete an image of a white triangle and an image of a black edged triangle. And that is because mentally, psychologically, we are always trying to fill in the gaps of our life so that we find a sense of wholeness or completeness, which is really the general principle or position of Gestalt psychology, that we are always looking for a sense of wholeness or completeness. And where we feel that things are incomplete or there are gaps in our life, it leads to frustrations. And so the need for closure is an important human need. And in all these situations that we find ourselves, especially the negative ones that we experience, until we are able to close the gaps through the meaning we find in our situations or experiences, through how we are able to interpret or process what is happening, we will struggle to move on because there are gaps in our storyline as individuals. And whenever we try to close the gaps and we close them with meanings or interpretations that are unhealthy, that lack a sense of purpose and true meaning in helping us to move on, we get stuck. So like the individual who has lost her parents, we are stuck after many years in that place where we are unable to move on from that tragic experience to live our life to the full, to achieve our potentials, as would even make the parents that we lost, wherever they are, if they can see us, be proud. If you are able to close that chapter, bring closure by understanding, even if you don't get all the answers to why your parents died in that accident, but bringing a sense of meaning and understanding to it, and realizing that it is a chapter in your life, though negative, you can take advantage of it to empower you to live a life and fulfill purpose beyond yourself and beyond whatever is happening to you, to allow your generation and your society, what we call de-reflection, where you are moving from yourself and your own experiences to the greater society, the greater environment, and how your life can make meaningful contribution to it. Once you move beyond the self and the negative experiences to the greater purpose and meaning that your life can bring to others, it helps you to thrive, to move on and build a life for yourself. So that even after that broken relationship, it is painful, but you'll be able to process it. Even if you don't get the right answers that you seek, you'll be able to process it, have good conversations that can help you to move on from that chapter of your life, bring closure to it, and then get into another phase of your life with determination and purpose. The need for closure is important, and once we find closure, our life becomes better.